News.
The University of Wollongong is set to become the first institution to deliver the controversial Bachelor of Arts in Western Civilization degree with the Ramsey Centre. Now, the centre will provide about 150 scholarships for the new course. And earlier this year, the centre was knocked back by the Australian National University, which claimed the conditions attached to the course affected its academic autonomy. Well, Theo Farrell is the Executive Dean of the Law and Arts Faculty at the University of Wollongong. He joins me now from Wollongong. Now, I guess the most important question and the most obvious question is why take this particular degree on after the ANU had rejected it and there's been hesitation from the University of Sydney?
Yes, good afternoon. Well, it was interesting. I mean, obviously I can't talk in detail about the negotiations with ANU because I wasn't a party to those. But in the media it was reported that there were concerns in the ANU about how, as you say, academic autonomy was impacted in the negotiations and what was proposed. I have to say, I mean, I've been in discussions with members of the Ramsey Centre now for many months. I led the UOW negotiation group, and that wasn't my experience at all, I have to say. I mean, beyond stipulating that this would be a course focused on the great texts of the past and taught in small classroom settings, and those were the conditions stipulated at the beginning. The Ramsey Centre hasn't made any requirements on us. And I have to say, by the way, the opportunity as an academic to teach very bright young students in small classroom settings is fantastic. I mean, the reason why we don't do it is because it's very expensive to do.
But surely,
and what this
let's talk about the expense here.
does.
$50 million is what's being promised to you. Now, obviously, the Ramsey Centre will want some sort of return for that. They will want to have some sort of say in terms of the academic staff that's been appointed.
I'm sorry, that's just not true, actually. So this
do you have that in writing? Do you
the...
know that that is part of the agreement and that your autonomy will not be impinged upon?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's in our MOU. What's been agreed is that members of the Ramsey Centre would serve on the appointing panels, but these will be appointing panels, and that's not unusual, by the way. It's quite common to have non-members of the university on appointing panels. So there's nothing unusual there in that. The key thing is that the appointment panels will be mostly staffed by Wollongong academics. They will be chaired by myself or the Vice-Chancellor. And we would want our partners in the Ramsey Centre to be involved in the discussions about those appointments. But there is nothing in what we've agreed, and that includes the design of the curriculum, which we designed. There's nothing in what we agreed that causes us to compromise our academic autonomy.
Who do you think would be attracted to this study? Who are you hoping to attract?
We're hoping to attract broad-minded, intellectually curious young people who want to study the classics, the literature, the past, and through that gain an understanding of some of the great challenges we face today.
I think this is something that a lot of people can't understand because, there's been discussions about the fact that this degree will examine classics and artistic masterpieces of the Western tradition.
Yes.
There's a lot of confusion as to what is Western tradition. Yes. There's also a lot of people who say that a lot of these classics and the masterpieces and a lot of what you're offering in this particular degree can be gained from the study of literature, can be gained from the study of the history of democracy and politics. So why this specific degree?
Yeah, I think that's a very fair point. So what we are actually putting on is a classic liberal arts degree. And you'll find these kinds of degrees taught in many liberal arts colleges in the United States and in places like Columbia University. The thing is that what they require is a small classroom setting and the time for students to study great texts in detail. And in Australia, we simply don't have the funding to teach students in this very intensive way. So what the Ramsey partnership provides is an opportunity for us to provide a liberal arts education of the kind that's taught in the best liberal arts colleges in the United States.
Theo Farrell, thank you so much for joining us. Theo Farrell there from the University of Wollongong.
My pleasure.
Let's turn our attention to sports news now, and I'm joined by Andre Leslie in the studio. Now, Andre, it is the fourth day of the Perth Test. What's happening?
Well,